those concepts getting expanded in a short amount of time over doubled my practice.
Welcome to Vitalleo. I'm Dr. Ben Lerner. We're in this really amazing health and wellness series, and today we're going to cover concepts with the iconic Dr. Todd Osborne.
So let's discuss concepts today. And for me, concepts are the ideas or the abstract thinking that we have that is going to develop what you're able to accomplish, what you're able to do, how big your practice can grow, how many people can you actually help. And there's a wide array of concepts out there. Every person has their own set of concepts, and that's been developed throughout their lifetime from their experiences that they have achieved, from the people that they've hung out with, from their teachers, from their parents, from their friends, society. Everything develops and builds your concepts. And it's really up to you to continue building your concepts. And they should ever be growing and changing. And here's a quote I'll throw out to you right off the bat, and that is this: your practice will never ever outgrow your concepts. And you can write that one down in stone. It is true as it ever was. Your practice will never outgrow your concepts. And your concepts should forever be expanding and growing. And I have seen my concepts grow throughout my lifetime, but particularly through my practice, and how my practice has grown and how that's changed, and what I thought about when I first graduated from school and what my concepts of a practice were and how big that could be to where my practice is today and how large that is. And that's been a developmental thing that goes through. So you should always be working on your concepts to get them bigger. Now, example of that, I went in as an associate doctor when I first came out of school, and I spent 2 years and I learned everything I could there. It was a great practice, and I learned everything that they were doing and learned how to manage patients. And I then bought my own practice and went into that practice. And I want you to know where that practice grew to. Where it grew to, it grew exactly to the numbers that I had experienced with my associateship. It grew right up to that same level that I had seen, that I had experienced, because that was my concepts. I practiced in that practice for 7 years, and then I got around some other people that expanded my concepts greatly. And those concepts getting expanded in a short amount of time over doubled my practice, an already fairly busy practice, over doubled that practice in under 4 months. So nothing changed about my philosophy, my technique, anything of that matter. It was a matter of my concepts being expanded and proper procedures being put in place that allowed me to over double that practice. And so my concepts changed. Now I was practicing at that level, and I continued to grow my concepts. And as I continued to grow my concepts, my practice got bigger and bigger. And sure enough, I got an associate doctor in my practice. That associate came in, he was with me for 2 years. Then he went out and opened his own practice. And guess where his practice grew to? Sure enough, right to the level that he had experienced what his concepts were. And so in a matter of a very short time, he had a practice just as large as our practice, and he had an associate doctor in his practice because that was his concepts. And so your concepts should be ever growing and ever expanding. If they're not, you need to figure out how to do that. Well, number one, you need to hang around people that have bigger concepts than you. If you look around and you see people that they have this, they have that, they're doing this, they're doing more, they're doing this better, that's who you need to hang around with. So whether it's going for training center visits at an office, or shadowing at offices, or going out to dinner, going to get more training around other doctors that have higher concepts and those higher level practices that you're reaching out for, then that's who you need to be with. That's where you need to spend your time to expand your concepts. Another way to do that is make sure you're not hanging around people with limited concepts. And unfortunately, sometimes that can be close friends and relatives that have a very limited concept. And with that limitation, they can hold you back. They can keep you from expanding your concepts. So be very careful about the company that you keep and who you hang around. Who are you focusing on? What are you listening to? What are you feeding into yourself? What are you feeding into your mind? So those are the things that can help you grow your concepts. And here's one thing I can tell you for sure. It's always going to come down to the size of your frying pan. And when I say that, there's a story about a guy going fishing, and across the pond he sees a guy just reeling in fish after fish after fish. But he noticed something very peculiar, and that was that the guy was throwing the big fish back and keeping the small fish. And that seemed kind of opposite to this guy. And so he finally walked around the pond and he said, "Man, you're really reeling them in today." And the guy goes, yeah, they're really biting today. And he said, "But I don't understand something. It doesn't make any sense to me. You're throwing the big fish back in, but keeping the small fish." And the guy says, "Well, it makes perfect sense because I only have a 6-inch frying pan." So the question is how big is your frying pan? Because you want to catch the big fish. If you've got a 6-inch frying pan concept, you're not going to be able to cook the big fish. And so how are you expanding your concepts? What are you doing on a daily basis to make a difference? Are you hanging around the people, the doctors, the practices that can expand your concepts, help you grow into those concepts, and then help you see that your future potential is far greater than what you think it is today? And I will leave you with this. Your concepts of today will never, ever get you the potential of your tomorrows.
Hi guys, I'm Dr. Kelly, and I just want to take a minute to talk to you guys about nutrition and some advanced testing that we've brought into our office. We have been in chiropractic for 15 years, and within the last couple of years we've brought in nutrition supplements and vitamin testing here to the office. What this has done for us as an office, it's really elevated our practice to a different level. We are now getting recognition from medical doctors for referrals. I have oncologists working with me because of the testing that we're doing. We're not just addressing the subluxation that's going on, but we're also addressing other underlying toxins and nutritional deficiencies that patients are going through. It's been an easy process, it's been a simple process, and it's really elevated our level of care we give patients, and as a bonus, it's really elevating the revenue that we're bringing here to the office.
Hey, thanks for joining us today. As a reminder, we've got regular webinars that go into even more detail on this topic. Check the description for more ways to get our content and sign up. If you'd like more information about Vitalleo and how it might help your practice, you can always reach us at vitaleohealth.com. That's VITALLEO health.com. Bless you, and remember who you are.